This is Nathan Fantasy Football League Updates. Nathan, Fantasy Football League Updates. Welcome back. It has been quite some time. We have certainly made you wait for this one, but the season is over. The season has concluded nearly 2 weeks ago. We've made you wait long enough to find out who our 2025 champion is, so we're not going to waste your time. We're going to jump right into it. Let's put a bow on this season finally and get you everything you need to know for how the season wrapped up almost 2 weeks ago. Before we can get into the good stuff, our loser, our champion, we got to go through kind of the placing games, and we'll start with the 7th place game. It was the Rocky River Rough Riders, who came in as the 7th seed in the tournament. They took on, the 10-seeded Linden the Crow. Neither of these teams will do the punishment in the consolation ladder. And, maybe to what some people might say, the lowest score of the week, Linden the Crow, got demolished to the top score of the week in the Rocky River Rough Riders, 185-99. Yikes. Not often you see the top score of the week play the worst score of the week, but when you're under 100 in the final game, I know it didn't matter. It's not a good look to end your season, but for Linden the Crow, they got to be happy with their postseason performance. They won 2 out of their final 3 games of the season, they won their final 2 regular season games, won 2 more in the playoffs, so 4 wins in a row, and then lose the final one pretty rough fashion. For the Rough Riders, won all 3 in the consolation ladder, kind of put the knock on the door that, hey, maybe we should have been considered for the postseason, but they were left out due to tiebreaker rules. Nonetheless, they will finish as our 7th place team. Linden the Crow will finish as the 8th place team. What went well for the Rough Riders is what's been going well all season long. The running backs. Bijan Robinson, the number 1 overall pick, showed up in the championship game in the consolation ladder. 39 fantasy points for him. Tip your cap. Really impressive stuff. On the other side, Derrick Henry had his breakout game in the final week of the season. He's been quiet all season long. Final week, 47 points. He was the top scorer of the week. Man, Derrick Henry was on a mission. The 2 running backs were good enough, honestly, to get you a win this week. They alone would have made this one interesting. But then you got 25 from Jackson Dart. Disappointing from Jared Goff with only 2. Then everybody else kind of did their job. Big miss off the bench, Baker Mayfield with 17. But otherwise, great stuff from the Rocky River Rough Riders in the consolation ladder. They had no sweat of the losers tournament in the toilet bowl. Great stuff from the Rough Riders. They really showed out in the postseason, which makes you wonder, they make the postseason, they make the championship. What could have happened? What could have been? Tiebreakers screwed them over. Instead, they will be our 7th place team. As for Linden the Crow, both of your quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Phillip Rivers, both got you 7. You did get 29 from Chase Brown, but Ashton Genty, that first pick of you in the 2nd round, only 9 fantasy points. Only other player in double digits was Javonte Williams with 11. Everybody else was single digits. Really rough stuff. Big miss off the bench, Quinn Ewers with 15 and Tony Pollard with 11. Everybody else, a big fat 0 for you in the column of your team. Nonetheless, Linden the Crow, just happy not to be in that toilet bowl. Congratulations on not losing the league. That wraps up both of their seasons. 6-8 for the Rough Riders in the regular season. Linden the Crow, 5-9. Both those teams will look to make it back to the postseason next season in 2026. Can they do it? Will we see some familiar pieces on both sides return? Moving on, these were the first two teams, the Bangkok Ball and Boas and the Brooklyn Bunnies, to be eliminated from the playoffs in the wild card round, making this the fifth place game. They played previously last week. It was a massive win for the Brooklyn Bunnies because the Ball and Boas scored less than 100 points. And this time, the Ball and Boas got their revenge and will finish fifth place this season, 133 to 108. The biggest what ifs this season, the Brooklyn Bunnies have 3 first round picks on their roster. We'll start with them. 15 from Justin Herbert, 17 from Jonathan Taylor, 14 from St. Brown, 11 from Debo, 7 from Jay Jettis. Barkley got you 6. And you forgot Jordan Love wasn't playing. He was out with the concussion. You left him in. That cost you this game to the Ball and Boas. Nonetheless, again, it's a game that doesn't matter. You're going to finish 6th place. But big misses off the bench from Andre Stevenson, 27. Quentin Johnston, 14. 17 from Cam Ward. 13 from A.J. Barner. It's tough to be stuck with Justin Jefferson end of the season. That was your first round pick. Your first round pick before you traded for Saquon and St. Brown, and then had Jonathan Taylor on that. This is going to be, in my opinion, one of the biggest what-if teams in league history. 3 first-round picks, 3 elite guys, and you add on the steal of the second round of Jonathan Taylor. This was my preseason 1 team. Really disappointing. They finished 6-8 in the regular season, made it in because of tiebreakers, but big what-if from this squad. Can the Bunnies bounce back? They keep the streak of 5 straight years in the postseason, but this was by far their most disappointing season. Remember, this is year 1's winner. Can they get back to that championship culture? With this loss, you got to start questioning, yes, they made the postseason every year, but are they a true blue blood? The 3 blue bloods, the 2 teams in the championship, the Avengers and the Gila Monsters, and then the Bunnies, because they always make the postseason. They're on that fringe blue blood territory. If they can't get back to the championship here soon, you're going to start questioning the blue blood, especially even though it's 5 straight years. You've had some question marks, and especially with this team, 3 first-round picks and Jonathan Taylor. This is a roster that should have done better in the playoffs. They didn't. You can point the fingers with whoever you want, but this is a big what-if for the Bunnies. Over to the winner, the 5 Ball and Boas. They're going to finish 5th this year. I mean, it was a complete collapse at the end of the year. It's the same story every year. They make the playoffs. They have a great regular season. They can't win a playoff game for the life of them. It is really bad over there. Eventually, you got to break that curse. It was more of the same the last 2 years. A massive offensive performance in the wild card round the last 2 years. They get bounced by the top scorer the last 2 years. It's tough. It's really tough. You can hear it from the manager himself. It's another rough year for the Ball and Boas, to say the least. And looking at this matchup, you're happy to get the win, finish as a top 5 team, but it's your best finish for team-wise. But, man, it's still demoralizing. They've got to be looking for a first-round bye next year, because maybe that'll help them in the semifinals get a win, because they just can't win in the postseason. Maybe it's just a wild card round curse. Not too sure. They've got things to figure out, but they did enough to win. And again, Jordan Love didn't play, so that certainly helped. But CJ Stroud nabbed you 13, Swift with 21, 19 from Michael Wilson. What a breakout end to his season. I'm sure we're going to see him in the award race that are coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Trey McBride was awesome down the stretch, 23 fantasy points, tight end 1 by a mile. He was incredible. But, man, you add probably candidate for bust of the year, Brian Thomas Jr., only 7, 9 from CeeDee Lamb, 6 from Sam Darnold, 8 from Henderson. Big misses off the bench, Tyler Loop, your kicker, with 11, and Isaac Tesla with 13. Rough stuff there from the Ball and Boas, but they find a way to finish 5th place. Another collapse at the end of the year. Is 2026 the year of the BBBs that they can get a victory in the playoffs? We'll find out next season, but that'll wrap things up for the Bunnies and the Ball and Boas. Better luck next year, guys. All right, on to our 3rd place matchup, which these were the top 2 teams. The winner of the NFC, the Empire Strikes Back, took on the number 1 overall team, the Cancun Chameleons out of the AFC. 12-2 finish, the best scoring offense in the league for the Chameleons. the best overall record we have ever seen in the regular season. They ended the year on the craziest winning streak we have ever seen in league history. They rattled off, I believe, 9 straight, but got bounced in the first round by the Avengers. I should say the semifinals. And then the Empire got bounced by the Gila Monsters in the semifinals as well after that first round bye. They finished 8-6 on the regular season, and it was spearheaded by the two-headed monster of Christian McCaffrey and Puka Nacua, which in this one, a losing effort, but man, both of these teams, the Cancun Chameleons put up 176 as they take down the Empire 176 to 150. Highest scoring points in the postseason side of the bracket. Yeah, that tells you what we're getting into in the championship. But Chameleons, this is going to be even a bigger what if than the Bunnies, because 176, spoiler, would have won them the championship. The best regular season team, the best offense, and you show up in the third place game and lose in a close one to the Michigan Avengers in the second round. Brutal. Josh Allen, 23. Drake May, 32. Awesome performances. Amarian Hampton, 20. Achane, 14. A pair of 11s from your wide receivers, Pickens and Brown. Colston Loveland, 21. Seahawks defense, 12. Brandon Aubrey, 16. Let's sit on that. That's a winning squad. Big miss, RJ Harvey, 18 points on the bench. The Chameleons, I think the Bunnies are kicking themselves. The Chameleons are even worse. Last year, they had one of the top offenses in the league, up there with the Bandicoots. They lose in the first round of the playoffs. Disaster class. This year, amazing regular season. By far the greatest team in league history, and they don't get it done. They fall to the third place game. Will finish third place this year. This will forever, until maybe next year, a couple years down the line, be the biggest what if and choke job in league history from the Cancun Chameleons. Incredible regular season. The offense is there. They lose one close game for the first time since one of the first 3 weeks of the season, and their season is over. Done. Kaput. Third place for the Cancun Chameleons, one of the greatest teams of all time, and they will not have a championship. Man, it's tough. And they beat a good Empire team who, again, the two-headed monster showed up. Puka with 15, it's on the lower end for him, even after last week's crazy performance. Christian McCaffrey, 28 fantasy points, just another monster. Those two players will most likely be up there for the VVP this year, and he had both of them. What a pick at the 7-8 swing. Turned out really well in his favor, but again, the pieces around him did not do enough. Breece Hall showed up finally with 20. Tyler Shuck, 21 fantasy points. Awesome stuff from him, but Josh Johnson, only 8. 7 from Myers, 8 from Travis Kelce. Cam Little, though, 14 points, and your punter, Tommy Townsend, with 11. Big miss off the bench, Chris Godwin Jr., 23.8 fantasy points. That's a tough one. Would have made this one real interesting, but nonetheless, Chameleons, biggest what if, biggest disappointment, I've got to say, in league history. Sorry, not sorry. Third place, Empire, fourth place. Both of them division winners, neither of them champions. All right, we've made it through the games that you need to know about that kind of just decided placing. We head to the Toilet Bowl. And this was an elite toilet bowl between the Guantanamo Bay Flying Squirrels and the Zest Meisters. Both these teams have lost the league previously. The loser this year will be making a personalized calendar for the entire league. Each member of the league, and then the champion gets to choose a couple more, will pick the photo required for each month. Who will be doing the calendar? Well, in a 1-point game, 119 to 118, this year's loser of the Toilet Bowl is the Zest Meisters. Wow, man, oh man. The Flying Squirrels escape with a win, and the Zestmeisters will lose the Toilet Bowl. Excited to see that calendar coming soon from the Zestmeisters, but brutal. I said it. Go back and check the tape. I said there's a real chance the Zestmeisters, they were 6-4. They lost their final 7 games. When they were 6-4, I said they're on the verge of making their first playoff appearance. They trade Amon-Ra St. Brown. I said this team's now going to lose the league. This team will miss the playoffs. They have just lost the league after trading their first-round pick, Amon-Ra St. Brown, for T. Higgins and Jaylen Warren. Man, I'm not going to say I told you, but I did. I told you. Zestmeister's fall, what the Flying Squirrels did, they had it after Sunday night. So you'll notice no running back. They pulled Kyren Williams just in case. Would have been fine. 16 points on Monday night. But nonetheless, 20 points from Joe Burrow, 22 from Dak Prescott, 22 from Christian Watson, 16 from JSN, big miss off the bench, 36 from Brock Purdy, and 16 from Jacoby Myers, or Brissett, On the other side for the Zestmeisters, 31 from Malik Willis was awesome, but everybody else kind of let you down outside of Wan'Dale Robinson for 22, 0 from Taysom Hill, T. Higgins, 9, Michael Carter, 6, Jaylen Warren, 6, Geno Smith, 7, big miss off the bench, 17 from Devin Singletary. Would have won you, well, not necessarily because Kyren would have played, but would have made it closer. Zestmeisters, sorry, you fall in the toilet bowl. The loser of this season, the Zestmeisters. I'm going to blame this one on the St. Brown trade. They were 6-4, knocking on the door of their first ever playoff appearance. You trade your best player for not as equal of value from a team that had value to give, and you lose in the toilet bowl to the Flying Squirrels. Will next year be the year that the Zestmeisters finally make a postseason run? They're the last team that has never made a postseason. Maybe it's next year. For the Flying Squirrels, can they finally make it out of the consolation ladder? They've made a couple of postseason appearances with this double-managed staff, but there's turmoil in that room. Can the Flying Squirrels figure it out next year? They'll finish 9th place this year. 6-8 and 6-8 for both these teams at the bottom of this year's league standings. All right, it's now time for the game you've all been waiting for. Round 3 of the Avengers and the Gila Monsters. This dates back all the way to 2023. Avengers win it that year. Gila Monsters win it in 2024. Now one of these teams will be the first ever 2-time champ of the Nathan Fantasy Football League. Will it be a back-to-back champion, or will it be just a 2-time champion? We're not going to give you the score just yet. We're going to break down a couple of key players. But man, this one was exciting. Came down to Monday night, which was awesome. We'll start with the Gila Monsters, who they came in as the 6th seed. They had no business being here after starting the year 0-5. The Cinderella of Cinderellas. They needed top performances. Trevor Lawrence, who has been awesome in the postseason, supplied that with 23. Chris Olave, he's been awesome in the postseason, supplied 25. Jamar Chase showed up for 25 more. 13 from Juwan Johnson. Josh Jacobs, for whatever reason, though, let this team down. Running back 1 point against Baltimore on Saturday. Only carried the ball 4 times. Tedero McMillan, who's up probably for Rookie of the Year. 1 fantasy point in the championship. Jalen Hurts, negative 0.02 in the second half to finish with 8.9 fantasy points. My defense got me 10. Tommy Fairbairn got me 10. Give or take, I guess. Big misses off the bench. 15 from Aaron Jones. 12 from Mike Evans. Any running back on my bench was better than Josh Jacobs. So there you go. Over to the Avengers. Bo Nix, nabbed him 19. 13 from Zay Flowers. 22 from Diggs. 10 from the Lions defense. 11 from Harold Fannin. Disappointing from Gibbs, made it 6. Bucky Irving only got you 8. So again, disappointing. J-Mo only got you 5. Big misses off the bench. Caleb Williams with 23. 26 from Zach Charbonnet. Michael Mayer, 17. But it came down to Monday night. Matt Stafford played on Monday night for the Michigan Avengers. 26 points away. 26 points is what he needed against the Falcons to win this championship. And Matthew Stafford sold it away. 131 to 118. Your final in the championship. The Gila Monsters have gone back to back. The first ever two-time champ, and it's back to back for myself. Let's go. The Tucson tie gets it done in the biggest Cinderella run in league history. The 6th seed to champion. This is unbelievable. The Gila Monsters, let's break this down real quick. Started the year 0-5. They lost their first 5 games. You didn't know. If you go back, I was defeated, out of it. Sadness. We win our next 5. All of a sudden, we're back to even. You didn't know if I was going to win a game. It started in our rivalry in the Founders Classic against the Rough Riders. We win 5 straight. We're 5-5. We lose 3 of our last 4. Final 2 as well in there. And because the Flying Squirrels finished at 6-8, we make the playoffs as the 6th seed due to a 4-team tiebreaker. And because of that, we win round 1 against the Ball and Boas, 175 to 165. Then you knock off the 1 seed in your division, the Empire, 187 to 146. Top 2 scoring offense the back-to-back weeks. Shout out the guys for staying in it. And in the championship against the team you've seen for the 3rd time in a row, 2 Blue Bloods, you get it done. 5th year in a row you're in the postseason, 2nd championship. This is beginning a dynasty for the Gila Monsters, the Cave Shrimp before then. A dynasty is beginning to form in this league. Let's add a 3rd ring to the belt. The Tucson tie will forever be hung in the rafters of league history as Cinderella champions, baby. Let's go! Unbelievable stuff. I mean, you couldn't have written this season any better. An 0-5 team to start the year makes it in because this league was so balanced. A 6-8 team makes it and finds his way to the championship and gets it done. No trades, injuries all year long, players not living up to the hype, and guys found a way to win. Chris Olave in the postseason, incredible. Trevor Lawrence down the stretch in the postseason, incredible. Jalen Hurts had his moments. Josh Jacobs had his moments. Jamar Chase, after the shaky start in the first 4 weeks, figured it out. Incredible stuff from that man right there who slid to pick 3. And then all the role players, Teteroa McMillan, Mike Evans, Aaron Jones, Kenneth Gainwell, all did their job. They found their moments, and this team was given a chance. They never gave up in the postseason, and they are 2026 champions. Back-to-back champs for the first time in league history. They knock off a heated rivalry in the postseason with the Michigan Avengers back-to-back years. They have taken the rubber match in year 3 of this championship, and they have done it. For the Michigan Avengers, it's a sour taste because they win. They win all the time. They make it 5 straight years in a row in the postseason. They find ways to win in the postseason. They make it to the championship, and they come up short again to a team that might not have had much business at the beginning of the season being there, but they've done it. They've done it. They've won a 2nd championship. And for the Michigan Avengers, it's back to the drawing board. How do you get back there in 2026 and finally win? How do you now, if you're the Gila Monsters with a target on your back, 2 big old targets on your hand, win a 3-peat and truly solidify a 3-year dynasty, maybe more? There's going to be targets on your back on draft day. It's going to be challenging for both of these teams. Will we see year 4 of this championship? There's no way, right? Maybe. You've got to stay tuned and find out for next season. We are thrilled with the way this year went. Couldn't be more happier with the way the Tucson tie, the Gila Monsters performed down the stretch. Back-to-back champs, baby. If you can't beat me, I don't know what's going to happen in this league, but somebody's got to try and take me down next year. Otherwise, we're looking at 3 rocks on the finger. That'll do it, guys. That'll do it. Your champions, the Tucson Gila Monsters. Congratulations to the Tucson Tie. They've been through a lot and they find a way to get it done. Congratulations to everybody in the league. It was an incredible season filled with ups and downs and surprises. We've seen history made this year. What a thrilling year it was. So thank you for everybody in this league for making this possible to do this year in and year out, to have so much fun doing this and make it such a strong community. To the viewers, thank you for tuning in all season long. It's been a roller coaster of the year, and what a cinematic finish it was to have the underdog Gila Monsters pull it out to go and become back-to-back champions. So thanks to everybody who makes this possible, for the countless effort everybody puts into this league, and man, it makes you excited for 2026. So thank you all for making this possible. I really get to enjoy making these videos for everybody and being a part of such an amazing league. So thank you all so much. Enjoy the NFL playoffs, as our fantasy playoffs for another half a year will go dormant until we meet again this summer in 2026. Have a great off season. Get back to the drawing boards. We are so excited to bring you all of the draft and off-season moves coming your way this summer. But until then, stay locked in on fantasy, because we will be back for another season in 2026. New teams, new rosters, new players available, and one heck of a season. Can they go for the three-peat? We'll find out next time on the Nathan Fantasy Football League Updates.